You're rich as fuck if you live in a town that has gondolas. I'll just take the gondola up, and then later we'll come back down. They have a pass, family gondola pass,
We need to take the gondola up to the top of the mountain.
just to look and see.
What
how
is
it's-
the Switzerland accent? What's that like? Is it just like German?
It's the fucking cook from the humdy dirty gandy dirty.
That's Swedish.
Is it okay?
Swedish chef.
Swiss.
Yeah, Sweden is Orgen, and then I don't know what Swiss is.
Because
Look
we
that
don't
up.
know, they've achieved something in modern society that no one else has, keeping their stupid accent private for the rest of the world.
Maybe they have the most neutral accent in the world.
But Bruno is Austrian, the Ali G guy thing.
Yeah. Radolf Hitler.
Oh, I don't know. We can find out what is the Swiss accent. I mean, isn't it Matheson? Are all those assholes Swiss from the Succession?
No, they're Danish or something.
No,
I
it's
don't
all
know.
the same. Are we recording?
Yeah, hey, it's the God Awful Gospel Hour, and we're watching a walkthrough of Switzerland, a town called Grindelwald, which I guess that's where they got the Harry Potter name from. The bad guy in Harry Potter, that's his name.
The crimes of.
in the movies.
It doesn't look like this place has very many crimes.
Yeah,
There's no crimes of Grindelwald in this Grindelwald.
I think their crimes are all. His goat ate my begonias.
This is God Awful Gospel Hour with Donnie and me, Stephen Peniston. You know, Peniston is a real last name.
No way.
Yeah, it's Welsh. It means it's old Welsh.
Yeah.
Saxon. Penis is Saxon for head,
Uh-huh.
and ton is town. Head town.
Head down.
It's old Saxon. Steve
Look that up.
Lord Peniston. Do you know where my Peniston? So we need to address some allegations. We've been embroiled in a controversy online with some higher forms of intelligence, and we were hoping to offend actual people with this show, but the robots got offended. Oh, they could put some steak in there. I'm sorry, I broke the ice on the cutting board. That's your dinner. I mean, you already ate it. It's a real hearty rum and Coke.
Yeah, it's got
Some
a lot of
Louis.
protein in it.
At least that's an old Mexican lady's anus. Just some of that good stuff gets in there.
Yeah, there's just a piece of meat in my drink.
Anyway, we're hoping to offend actual people, but the robots got to the content first and shut us down on YouTube.
Yeah.
And we're almost done on TikTok for saying disparaging things about the sizes of the genitalia of people from other lands and for using the R word,
Yeah.
rape. And we didn't even do the one for the YouTube. Wasn't even us. It was just it was Peasy, the guest.
Yeah.
And he was doing an impression of a lady giving COVID misinformation.
Yeah. We're canceled by AI.
Yeah.
I think that's what the new thing that the new world order is going to do, and the Antichrist is actually going to be an AI.
So I'd like to apologize to our overlords. Somebody have a rice ready.
That's the dishwasher.
Oh, okay.
Man, why does all that stuff know to go off right when we're recording? It's like, I'm going to make a noise in the background.
Remember when John Cena did an apology video in Cantonese?
Yeah. Because he didn't do like a, or no, is that The Rock that did a Chinese voice? Like a ding chong ding dong.
So we have to do a Chat GPT robot voice.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for saying Chinese people have small dicks.
You should
And
have thrown it
saying
in a Chat GPT.
Retarded.
We should put it have Chat GPT write us an apology to the AI that is about to ban us from TikTok.
Or we could play the old modem sounds.
Yeah.
And some phone tones.
Yeah.
Then maybe the machine will understand that we're
It's
sorry.
the sounds of going into the Matrix. That's what it is.
I'm sorry,
the part-
machines.
You know the part whenever they give him the red pill and then he touches the mirror and the mirror goes up his arm and
Yeah.
into his mouth and it goes like it makes that
That's some trans
digital
fantasy
noises.
stuff.
yeah. That's the noise that we have to apologize in to TikTok's Chinese AI.
Oh, so we can just apologize with a vocoder on.
Yeah.
Do you believe in letting me have my YouTube channel back? I wonder if there's going to be an N-word for robots in the future when we get tired of them.
Yeah, I know.
On Clone Wars, it's Clankus.
Oh, really?
They call them Clankers. All the clones call the battle droids. We got a bunch of Clankers up there.
I've came up with the idea that I want to make up a word that when you call somebody the word, it's the worst thing of whatever they are.
Yeah.
So if you call somebody this word and they're black, it means one thing. If
Yeah.
they're gay, it means another thing. If they're Asian, it means
Yeah. We were coming up with some bad sounding sounds. That one, blorch.
Yeah.
Something just unappetizing to the ear.
I thought maybe for some reason I've always thought the word gink would be good.
Yeah.
But it's already an insult, and it's like an old-timey 1900s insult.
This guy's a gank.
So I'm thinking that maybe we can take it back or change the.
It's time. It's time for us to take it back.
So gink means a foolish or contemptible person, but that's like old words. So maybe we take it, bring it forward, and say no. It actually means
AI.
If you're a Mexican, it means spick.
It means overactive AI edit robots.
Yeah.
So we need to apologize to the Ginks, to our robot overlords. Yeah. And we're sorry. And I'm sorry. And my bad. It actually happened the day after there was that article that Biden's administration was barred from using social media.
Yeah.
So it might be an actual person did get offended for being made fun of for not believing in the vaccine. Because I put the headline, the text I put on it was from 0 to January 6th in 1.3 seconds.
Yeah.
So there was hashtags for that.
But they didn't say anything specific about the strike or anything, did it? It was just this video.
Medical misinformation.
Oh, so it was COVID stuff.
Yeah.
It wasn't January 6th stuff.
Yeah, we got Rogan'd already.
Yeah.
We don't even have 30 listeners.
Can't they at least put just a thing? Hey, get more information about COVID-19 here. Are they still doing that?
I don't know.
Does anybody still care about COVID anymore? I don't. I haven't cared about COVID in a year and a half.
YouTube's Ginks do.
Yeah.
They shut me down.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. On Wednesday, I'll be able to post again, just in time for our future guest. We're having a veteran on the next episode.
A veterinarian?
Yeah, Eric. And, but we've never met him before, so we have lunch first. But if, something goes wrong and you don't hear us post the show after this one, you know what happened. We've pissed a veteran off and got killed in Donnie's living room by a stranger. This is gonna be like the Kurt Cobain of podcasts. They were just coming into the prime.
We're gonna be American Sniper, dude.
Things were going so well, and then they had a guy they didn't know on and died.
Yeah. Well, at least it wouldn't be in your neighborhood for once. It'd be in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
It wouldn't.
It's spreading.
We wouldn't have a SWAT situation.
That's because my
exactly in where you live. They have it a couple streets over where I live.
My shittiness of my neighborhood is bleeding over and across.
Yeah. It's like the blight in Final Fantasy 16. There's something wrong with the ether.
Ever faster.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear the word toxic before Brittany brought it out?
Yeah,
about,
like toxic chemicals and stuff, but calling a person toxic?
But after that,
I don't know. I think it might have come from Britney Spears.
After she did that song, it was toxic workplace, toxic relationship environment. They started using it for everything. We were talking about that Slappy, how she got smacked up.
Yeah, that so basketball player's security slapped her in the face.
She fucked around and found out.
I think, but then I was reading today that is like, oh no, she actually hit herself.
She Amber Turded herself.
Like she accidentally hit herself in the face.
She liared herself in the. I'm kicking my own ass. Yeah, she ran up on somebody with security from behind, which you don't get a dog's face while it's eating, and you don't run up behind someone who has security. Unless you want to fuck around and find out what happens when you do those things. Yeah. It's not going to go well for you. We're talking about the guys that Brittany married. I guess, is Federline, and then there's this guy now. All of them have been gold diggers. And
well, yeah, except for Justin Timberlake.
Guy gold diggers off of a woman.
Justin Timberlake's the guy that got to bang her the first.
Yeah.
He fucked her first.
Yeah.
He's the guy, because he said, he told some radio show that he took her virginity.
She was like, yeah. Yeah. But the other one like that with a bunch of marriages was Anna Nicole Smith.
Mm-hmm.
She had a chain of them. And then
I thought she was married the old 96-year-old guy.
That was the last one. And then she got married to the ground after that. She had OD'd.
Which one died first, her or her son?
I
can't remember.
Is this a chicken or the egg situation?
Yeah. Which
Nicole Smith has to go first to trigger the apocalypse? So we were talking about Amy Hennig on the last show, and I still didn't get down to whether is it good or bad. Is she good or bad?
Everything that
Are we glad she's doing?
everything that they made while she was at Naughty Dog was good.
Okay.
And
Forspoken was bad. May have been a misstep.
I don't think Forspoken. I think she was brought on to I don't even know what she was brought. I would like to know what the
Beef
issue
up
with
the
that
dumb
question is.
dialogue.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that's probably good then if she's doing Star Wars Underworld.
Maybe is she?
So that's what she got brought back onto the team that was working on 1313 before.
Yeah.
They're getting the fucking band back together, man.
I saw something really vague about that, but because it's not the one with this woman scumbag, woman smuggler protagonist.
Yeah, outlaw. No,
It's not that one. It's a new one.
yeah. So I mean, what we all imagined when they first announced it was going to be like Uncharted Star Wars, because they were talking about it before Last of Us, a long time ago.
1313.
Yeah,
Yeah, 1313 was old LucasArts.
Yeah.
Back whatever. That's what. When they bought Lucasfilm, they should have.
but then I guess Disney bought everything and shut down LucasArts and started making Star Wars games through EA.
No, yeah, they started just farming it out to
Yeah.
triple the freaking EA.
And there've been a bunch of mishits, but other than
Although
Jedi.
those Jedi games are fine.
Yeah.
They're fine.
Well, yeah, the Cal Kestis ones are fine.
Yeah.
They were good, but then they got Battlefront 2, which everybody was mad about the microtransactions. So the Rogue Squadron wannabe squadrons.
Yeah,
They
that
didn't
one
do
was like a 20-minute game or
It
something?
was cool looking, but the controls are a nightmare, and it was pretty. It's just kind of something to get used to, but they haven't. Yeah, I wish they just would do the KOTOR remake.
Yeah, that one's, I don't know. There's so much stuff going. And now, does the writer's strike go to video games too? Does that apply to video games? Because there's writers for video games. Are there people who are in the WGA that write for video games?
I don't know if they're still.
I'm gonna look that up.
Is the video game industry still sidelined according to Hollywood elites? Is it thought of as a legitimate writing? Because you have to choose your own adventure basically for video games.
Yeah, but there's still writing that happens.
I write it. I choose the adventure. That's what all the choose your own adventure books told me when I was little. It's your creativity from making choices. Choosing which dude you want the Mass Effect chick to bang trans alien style.
It halts any franchise that employed union writers. Large effects on licensed game depending on the licensed IP. So if it's Star Wars like that, there might not be anything happening as far as the writing.
That's really cute that there's a writers union, because I'm in the union because I have to use a jackhammer.
You're the Jackhammer's union.
I might hurt myself.
Jackhammer's the 51st.
Yeah. I might hurt myself. There's danger. I want my family to be taken care of. And then there's writers who are like, oh, God, I hurt my finger. Was writing something funny.
I don't write after 4:59.
Yeah. Quitting time. So have you done, how's your auto build on Zelda right now? Do you have anything cool in there?
No, I think I made one thing that I saw online. People are building like drones and things that just hunt monsters down and kill them and stuff. There's so many cool things. There's a subreddit called Zelda Engineering.
Hyrule
Engineering.
There's flying machines that use no energy.
Yeah.
But you have to sneak parts out from a shrine somehow. Like the parts are only available in the shrine, so you have to fuse them to your shield and then beat the shrine.
Okay.
And then you can take out these architectural panels from shrines, and they'll hook up to Zonite devices.
That's pretty brilliant. People figure shit out in that game.
It's definitely a lot cooler than I thought it was going to be. Just Ratchet and Clank nuts and bolts of Zelda.
Yeah.
But it's ending up being.
It turned into I don't know, so the physics are just so amazing.
Yeah.
I want every game to have physics like that.
I still have a nightmare every time I try to make an air bike because I don't get them lined up right. You have to I can't figure out where to fucking stand Link at. I have to, once I get it perfect, I'll save it in my auto build because I like flying around. And then I finally got cannons and I got the mech. So you can just cannon mech. How far are you in it?
Going through the Zora right now.
Okay.
I still have that, and then whatever the fifth sage is, the thing, whatever's down underground.
It's just a huge pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I'm on the way to I'm right after that. I'm ready to go get the Most sword
but
so I can masturbate.
But they played Final Fantasy 6. They put Final Fantasy 16 out, so
yeah.
now I'm playing that.
So I got that Fantasian game from Hironobu.
Oh, you did actually get it?
Yeah. That's free. Or I guess
is
it's
it?
free on Apple Arcade, and I pay for Apple Arcade.
Oh,
It's like jumbled in with my music and everything else.
okay.
But it's kind of a near automata mixed with Final Fantasy kind of aesthetic. It's girls and robots and vague, weird pronouns and stuff. But it's Mistwalker, so I thought it'd be good. I played a lot of their other stuff. I played Lost Sphere and Blue Dragon.
Yeah. What was Blue Dragon on? Was that on Wii or Xbox 360?
It was on 360.
I wanted to play that one because it was. I didn't play it.
Do you remember when trailers used to be called commercials?
The previews.
Yeah.
Call them previews. We gonna go to the movies, but they got the previews.
The previews showed before the movie, but you would
Right.
see that same preview on TV in the commercial break
Yeah.
more often than you would. You know,
Yeah.
we're sitting around, kids were watching TV way more than we were at the movie theater.
I only started calling it trailers with whenever you go to like apple.com/QuickTime
Star Wars.
and you'd watch all the trailers.
Yeah.
And that or it was apple.com/trailers,
Yeah.
right?
They had the episode 1 trailer.
Yeah, they had the episode 1 trailer, and then it literally I remember watching the Gladiator trailer on that.
Yeah.
A lot of those. That's when we started calling things trailers. We never called them trailers. So the preview for the new Star Wars is out. That is what
Or the
we
commercial.
used to see. Yeah.
It's a commercial preview. Have you seen the commercial for this movie? What do you mean, the trailer? No, the preview.
There's Dune trailers, Dune previews.
Did you
out.
watch Spider-Verse yet?
No, I still haven't. That's the one thing I've been wanting to go. I was thinking about going this weekend, but I ended up not.
Did you hear all the shit about the working conditions?
Yeah,
Horrible. Again,
Yeah.
you have my dream job and you're complaining about it. It's like the writer's strike.
I think it's one of those where it's like I always wanted to work at GameStop, and now I'm like, oh my god, working at GameStop would have been a nightmare because I had friends that worked at GameStop,
Yeah.
and they had to deal with all the, I'm just gonna say autistic retards, that where GameStop was like the place that they wanted to hang out all the time, right?
The light purple part of the spectrum.
Yeah.
It's not dangerous. It's not hot. Ooh, hot.
It's and then they would come in and they would want to talk to the guys that worked there, and there were always smelly people that would show up. And then of course that's not even to mention the little kids with their moms like making messes of everything, and then
Yeah, I worked at Funko Land before it was GameStop.
oh really?
And there was a lot of MILFs asking which Pokemon is which. Is this Diamond? Is this Sapphire? Like, you like pearls? There's Pokemon. I can show you Pokemon Pearl necklace.
Yes.
In the back here, we have it in the stock room. I don't know if you've seen that porno before.
How old were you? I was in high school. I don't think.
I think I worked at Funko Land when I was 26, 25, 26.
Oh yeah.
But the first thing they tell you when you walk in the door is you can't play any games. Unless someone asks you to test it,
Oh really?
then you can play. Because they didn't want to pay people to sit around and play games all day. And
Yeah.
I was like, it makes it look good if somebody walks in and sees two dudes fighting Virtual Fighter having a ball, then they would buy the game.
Right. Did you ever have it where you could just literally take a game off the shelf, take it home, play it, come back to the store, shrink wrap it, and put it back on the shelf?
We could have. I got fired within a month because they wanted to give me keys and have me be a manager.
Uh-huh.
But in Virginia, the rules for the game stores are the same as pawn shops because you buy and sell goods that are worth over $200. That's the loophole for like having to get a background check, because that's the same with guns and pawn shops.
Oh.
So because the same strip mall could have a gun shop or a pawn shop where they buy and trade things that are worth more than $200, under that same law is GameStop, where you're buying and trading things that are worth more than, they put $1. It's like the felony misdemeanor kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they did a background check on me, and that's when I found out that I got my charges dismissed but not expunged from a previous issue in North Carolina.
So because you just had it on your record.
Yeah, they said I lied. I said I didn't have anything.
Oh, because you put the little check mark in the box
Yeah,
on
I
the
said
application or whatever.
Yeah, I said
That's
clear.
stupid.
And then they said, you lied on your application. And the girl was so sad. She really wanted to use me and make me open and close the store so
Right.
she wouldn't have to commute during peak hours.
Yeah.
She really wanted me to be the manager. I worked there and at a sports bar 2 doors down, same strip mall.
So it was just a strip mall. It wasn't even a mall.
No.
See, all my friends worked at the Babbages in the mall, and so they would. Twan. I don't know, should I bleep that name out? No, I'm not gonna bleep that name out.
Fine.
He would basically anytime a PlayStation game came out, he would take it home. He would play it. We played a lot of those RPGs, those post Final Fantasy VII RPGs that came out. Played a lot of those for free.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason why I wanted to work there. But now I'm so glad I didn't.
Well, my best friend worked at Best Buy, and he would put Super NES games in the bushes, and then we would go back later and take them to Toys R Us for Jeffrey dollars and buy stuff we actually wanted, which at Toys R Us for 18-year-olds is like DVDs,
right?
Just movies and shit. But then one of the kids ratted us out. He was the only other kid from our church that worked at that Best Buy. I think he got caught, so he ratted us out. And then my friend got locked up because he was 18 and we weren't. And then once he got out, we caught the kid at church and beat him up into the mulch. We smashed his face into the mulch Sunday morning at 8:30 when everybody was walking into the church.
Bad boys.
A good scene.
Bad boys of church.
Keep your fucking mouth shut, bitch.
Yeah. I had one. So when I worked at Hastings, which we've mentioned before, I had a manager who, so in the mornings, the newspapers would be delivered. I guess it was the Austin American-Statesman would be delivered. And so we would grab the delivery and we put them on the newsstand. And then at the end of the day, whichever newspapers didn't sell, we would, as we were closing, we would take them out and we would put them outside for the newspaper delivery people to pick up the next morning when they delivered the next day's newspapers. It's just like the cast-offs, the ones that didn't sell.
Yeah.
So
slow news day.
What he would do is, as we were closing, he would go get like 5 or 6 DVDs and slip them in between the newspapers.
Gangster style.
And we would put the newspapers out through the front door that didn't have the thing that detected the little metal things inside the DVD players. So he would put them out, and then we'd all close, lock up, and drive off. But then he would kind of turn around after a minute and come back and then walk up and take all the DVDs out of the newspapers.
Isn't that to leave the gun, take the cannoli maneuver?
Right.
They rolled it in the newspaper?
Yeah, it was in the newspapers.
You guys...
So I don't know how long he was doing that, but he'd been there a while. He was one of the managers.
Like, I saw this movie Goodfellas where they had a bunch of great ideas and everyone turned out awesome. So we should do what they did in that movie.
I can't remember
success story movie.
I can't remember what that guy's name was, but he told me he was a huge Weezer fan.
Say it ain't so.
And he told me that, like, I guess they were somewhere and they were hanging out with somebody who knew the drummer from Weezer. Yeah. And so the guy was like, I can call him and see if you guys want to go over. And they're like, what? And so he called him, and then sure enough, they went and hung out at the drummer from Weezer's house.
Now they're friends of P now.
Yeah. And he said that the MTV Music Award that they won was the toilet paper dispenser in his bathroom because it had it's the Moon Man, so it's like he's got the flag, and so the toilet paper was on the flag, and that was what you used. But yeah, so they said I don't know. They said they calculated out he'd stolen somewhere around $10,000 worth of DVDs, but I don't know. I think what loss management or loss prevention was looking at inventory, and risk. They figured something out, so they started. I don't know. It must have been some pretty awesome detective work to find out what he was doing.
Yeah, I don't even know what they're doing now. Everybody just shoplifts everywhere, if you believe Reddit videos.
Yeah, I know.
There's no loss prevention, nothing. Just people taking shit. They have to block up toothbrushes.
Yeah.
In San Francisco. Speaking of the police, there was the article about a bank robbery downtown, and the person was complaining. Of course, again, Reddit city complaints. Why is every cop car here at this bank robbery, but there's a breaking and entering in South Austin and I can't even get 911 to answer?
Well, the 911 situation is pretty bad.
Well, it's because the cops don't want to commute, just like everybody else. They're trying to telework. Like downtown, they like it there.
But I'm hearing that like you can't even get 911 to pick up.
Yeah.
Like, there's not dispatchers.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Nobody wants to do that job. That job
Nobody
sucks.
wants to work anymore.
They should incentivize. Every time I've seen someone tell the police, I know my rights, they get in immediately way more trouble. Like, it's usually some drunk guy that's like, you can't do this, I know my rights. And the cop's always like, oh, yeah, your rights. You have the right to remain silent. Yeah. And then they just get the cuffs out.
That's the thing about rights is that, if somebody violates your rights, you still have to, like, go to court and prove it.
Yeah.
It can still take time and energy from you. It can really mess things up.
Yeah, people try to turn a live confrontation with the police into a legal proceeding,
Yeah.
and the cop's like, "No, we're not doing that now. That's later.
Yeah.
You're gonna get locked up now."
You can fight it out in court later, but a cop can arrest you for any reason they want. They can make anything up.
Yeah, we were watching a ton of videos like that with me and my kid, and he was like, "How can they do that?" And I was like, "They have a gun.
Yeah.
Just say yes sir, no sir. That's what my parents told me.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with them. That's dumb.
Yeah.
They're they're bigger than you. They have some sort of they're on the spectrum somewhere because they chose that job, and they have a gun. So don't fuck around or find out either." So you're gonna get Baldur's Gate? Are you down?
I'm like I said, I'm r/patient gamer, so maybe later. I don't know.
Let's watch some trailers. Let's get hype.
Yeah, we
It
should.
looks cool. Hopefully, I don't know. We'll see. I've never played a game like that. I've never
Yeah.
enjoyed a top-down isometric
Yeah.
dungeon crawler. I've tried, but I think it's going to take a community. Like if I could play online with 3 different people, it would be fun. I've a little bit gotten into Diablo because of that, but
I'm
course,
hearing
Final
Diablo
Fantasy.
4 is pretty good, actually, even though it's stupid-ass Activision Blizzard.
it's bad timing because
They
Final
made it
Fantasy.
Yeah, I know. But Diablo is one of those games that you can play for years at a time. And I'm pretty sure that once I've gotten enough shit done in Final Fantasy 16, I'm not going to be playing it much after that.
Did you finish Red Dead 1?
I've
The old one?
not done. So it came out when I didn't have a PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
And I was living with that friend of ours
Yeah.
where I had everything pretty much locked away.
Yeah.
I spent as little time in the house as possible.
Uh-huh.
So I wasn't playing my Xbox 360 at the time that came out. And then I played. I got it on PS3 at some point, but I did not play much of it. And then I played, quite a bit of 2.
That was one of my first financial marriage fights. Is I wanted to play Red Dead Redemption in 1080p, but
Yeah.
we didn't have a 1080p monitor. So I was looking at cheap ones, and I found one from Dell.com.
An actual computer monitor, not a TV.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was the cheapest way for me to see my PS3 games in 1080p.
Right.
And I was just going to run sound out, like the monitor had an aux in the back. So I was just going to run sound out to some PC speakers or something. And it was glorious. I got it, and I got it just in time for Red Dead to come out. And then it was right before our wedding and reception. So we had a bunch of people staying at the house, and I was like, "Shut up, leave me alone. I'm trying to shoot birds."
Yeah.
My hippie auntie was like, "Don't kill that bird." And I was like, "Go away. I'm a cowboy now. I'm a gritty cowboy." But there's ratings rumors from Korea that they're going to remake Red Dead Redemption 1, whatever, with John Marston, which it would be cool, but it seems like, Rockstar has a bad record, but there's been a lot of great remakes of that era of
Yeah,
games.
you just have to make a good remake. You have to be like Shadow of the Colossus about it.
Well,
Ground up
you
remake.
have to redo all the polygons
Yeah, all the assets.
and all of the textures.
Mhm.
And then what we learned from Crisis Core is you have to redo all this mocap too. Otherwise
Yeah.
it looks dumb. Then you have super high def 4K hair flowing clothes and the person's just like robot walking. Bleep blorp. Sorry, I don't. My bad. Can you edit that out? I'm not supposed to make fun of the.
You can't make fun of the Ginks.
I don't want to piss the Ginks off. They get shut down. So then Mass Effect 4 is still being worked on, apparently, but it's in pre-production. Everybody so we got a bunch of views online when we talked about Mass Effect with Aaron for some reason.
Yeah.
So apparently a lot of people are waiting and wishing and hoping and looking for
I guess
hashtags.
that was another one that I completely missed. Like Mass Effect, I was not playing many video games at all when that came out. So
My niece loved it because there's love, romance
Yeah.
options, and I loved it because it's sci-fi, and it's got Casio keyboard sounds.
it does.
So it's got cheesy 80s sci-fi soundtrack. And it's got magic. It's got guns and magic, but the magic is scientific.
Uh-huh.
It's like you have some sort of aura or something that you can. The certain aliens help you get it.
2007
What?
was
Mass
whenever the
Effect?
first one came out.
Well, they put out a poster or a trailer for 4
Yeah.
that it's coming, but that was a year ago. And then the latest I read was that it's still in pre-production. Which what does even
Untitled Mass Effect game to be determined.
Yeah. What does that even mean for a video game if it's in pre-production? It's production or it's not in production? What's
Pre-production is like planning stages. Like they're drawing out, they're making concept art. Who's
It's
that?
Hot Girl Walking a Clock.
Yeah.
30. Hey, baby, you want to be on a podcast?
Hey, babe. Hey.
We make fun of women. You want to come make fun of women?
You want to come be on a podcast that's racist against women?
We got canceled by robots already.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed Mirage is the next Assassin's Creed. I was watching a thing about it. They're trying to say they're going back to the basics. Because, of course, the first one was in Bible times. But the lady that they're interviewing on this latest one, she's from Ubisoft Montreal. And she has a French accent. And she's trying to explain the video. But she looks kind of like Blink Twice if you're being held hostage. She's like frighteningly trying to convince people to come back and play Assassin's Creed again.
Really?
She looks like she's begging people, please save me from this hole. I'm being trapped.
Yeah, I'm kind of liking the bubble bursting and like all the things that used to be, sure things like flopping and all that. I'm kind of like, maybe that's what they're afraid of with like video games. Because, we got Indiana Jones is flopping. Literally every one of the past few movies that Disney has put out, except for maybe Guardians of the Galaxy 3, have lost money.
I just watched that yesterday. It took me 5 hours. I fell asleep twice. It was great. It was a good nap.
Is it on somebody's Plex?
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah, a good quality version of it. All right, I'm gonna have to watch it then. Yeah. But I'm liking everything flopping because of how
because they're gonna have to come up with an original idea
bad
for once.
Because of how bad and corporate things are. All the originality's been sucked out. That was actually one of my little riffs that I forgot about. Which let's take a break and then we'll come back with some more riff ideas.
Dead treasures.
Yeah. And we back from break.
Hello.
So we were talking the other day. I texted you and I said, I have so many like fully thought out riff ideas that I have after I've eaten a gummy that are really, really good. And so I write like a sentence or two and I'll be like, oh, I'll remember this later. And then I don't remember it anymore.
And then you read it and it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, then you read it and it doesn't make sense like 3 days later.
That was the other Donnie.
Yeah.
The other guy. Don't worry about him.
Yeah.
He's mischievous. The lady at the smoking show was asking me how the gummies made me feel, and I was like, mischievous and amused. She was like, that sounds like you're a hoot to be around. Well, yeah, it makes it fun to fuck with people. So what are some of your old whack hack buried treasure premises? I've done this on shrooms where I thought I solved the world.
Yeah, solved the world. All the issues of the world. So one day I ate a gummy and then I went to the grocery store. Well, no, what I did is I ate a gummy and then I went to go eat at the Mexican food place around the corner.
Yeah.
And while I was sitting there eating, I was like, oh, yeah, I ate a gummy. And then it hit. And so the whole thing was like a wave that I was having to surf.
Yeah. From
the restaurant to the grocery store, picking things up, and then getting back in my car and going home. So as I was surfing this wave, I was walking through the grocery store and I saw this obvious mom. I think she had kids with her and stuff, but she had tattoos all over her arms. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you know what? When I was growing up, there weren't a lot of moms with tattoos. Mm-mm. You didn't have a lot of moms with tattoos around you whenever you were a kid, right?
No, there was a sketch about that on SNL with Molly Shannon.
Yeah.
She had like a neck tattoo creeping up out of her blouse. She was like, I used to be on meth.
Yeah. So then I took it in like all these different directions. I probably thought up a good 2.5 minute riff on it. But all I wrote down was, I grew up in a place where there weren't a lot of moms with tattoos. And I can't remember what the rest of it is. Yeah. So I'm going to have to think about that one some more.
You go slut shaming redneck bitches who get too many tattoos, so you're going to get canceled again. How dare you slut shame us? We like the pain of the tattoos.
I wrote down circumcised neo-Nazi. So I know it was, the idea behind it was that I like to take, all the stereotypes of one, political group of people, but add them being like very, very passionate about something that is not their normal political side.
Yeah.
So I started thinking about like a a neo-Nazi in the deep South with Confederate flags and all that kind of stuff. But he's really, really mad that he got circumcised. He's like one of those anti-circumcision activists.
Yeah.
And so I know the line that I came up with, it was, and something else, my parents got me circumcised like a Jew. That was the only part of it that I remember. But so I wrote down circumcised neo-Nazis. A neo-Nazi that is incredibly angry about male circumcision and thinks it's as bad as female circumcision.
I think a lot of the jealousy and things that end up with genocide and racial anger have to do with dicks.
Yeah.
Like all the Southern dudes are mad because the black dudes had bigger dicks, and they turned it into a whole nother thing.
Right.
They're giving them reefer and making them crazy. And also, there's other things happening, but we don't have to talk about that.
Yeah. The white women are wanting to fuck them.
But, the Germans were calling the Jews dirty, and the Jews were probably like, well, at least we're circumcised.
Yeah, no.
You got dirty German
We don't
dicks
have
hanging down.
unclean dicks.
Yeah, at least we're not donkey dick Germans like you.
When did
This
non-Jews
is unacceptable.
start, at some point, Protestant Christian, evangelical Christians decided to circumcise their kids too, because that was like a whole thing in, waspy type circles, is they still get their kids circumcised.
Yep, I got it. It was $2,000 to get Walter done. I was like, nope.
Yeah.
We're going to
He'll
save.
keep the turtleneck.
He'll be all right. What if a girl hooks up with him and doesn't like it? Well, next bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you'll be all right, buddy.
Yeah. So I guess I was thinking about words like that, and when a word, when you say a word, a no word, the context that you say it and the tone with which you say it tells you so much about whether the person should say it or not.
Yeah. Like how old people look left and right and whisper black.
Yeah, right.
Black guy.
Yeah. The one I was thinking of was whenever that baseball announcer was on the hot mic.
Yeah.
And he called some city the fag capital of the
San
world.
Francisco.
But whenever he said it with such hatred in his voice. Yeah. You could tell that it wasn't even a joke. He goes, a fag capital of the world. He was mad.
And then he had to resign on air.
Yeah. But then he had to call a home run in the middle of it.
Yeah. I apologize for what I've deep line drive, and I won't be here next week.
So yeah, that one just says fag capital. And then I have one that I wrote down from, I think it was Aaron. You're not on the spectrum, you're just on TikTok.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people I'm so autistic. And then they watch autistic people on TikTok saying, I'm autistic and here's what I do. And I do that too. I must be autistic. So I might turn that into something.
That's a community of basement dwellers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the maxualing that's bothersome about those people.
Right.
Is you have to correct somebody when they're wrong. You can't just let it go.
Yeah.
And it's to me it's a deep existential thing. I think we're all on this earth for each other to make the world a better place by encouraging each other. So that dictates what battles I pick as far as semantics.
Right.
With strangers. I'm not gonna fuck with somebody over some dumb shit. It bothers me all day at work about apostrophes. They apostrophize.
Oh, they put apostrophes for plurals everywhere, like apostrophe S.
All the abbreviations.
Ugh.
It's horrible. And I have a whiteout, so I just correct it myself. I don't tell anybody. I just go fix it. I was watching these French Ubisoft Montreal people interview about Assassin's Creed Mirage, and the one lady looked like a hostage, and then the other guys looked over it. This is their 9th one.
I know.
So
isn't it just like Madden at this point?
They're like bohemian, Andy Warhol-esque French hipster video game devs. They're like, I don't care. I can shit on a plate, and everyone will eat this piece of shit because it's Ubisoft Montreal. But Assassin's Creed has followed my life. I've played every one just because I feel like they're watching me. Like the first one was in the Bible, and the next one was in Virginia, and the next one was in Florida.
Yeah.
And it was like, why are they? And there was Paris.
Yeah.
It was like a bunch of places I've lived at. And I was like, cool, I can play these games because I know these areas, and I've seen this before. But then I've only lived 4 places, so they've made way more. I haven't lived in Rome or Egypt or England. England brought it back, the most recent one, because you could walk through the place was
in
where
Viking times, though, right?
Yeah, but those big open fields and cows and fences still back then. I mean, you can walk in the wilderness in England, and it looks exactly like it did medieval times. If you get over the right hill and you can't see any towns or anything.
All you see is an old stone fence.
So you haven't gotten very far in Final Fantasy. Have you noticed ever since 7, they've just been doing gayer and gayer versions of Sephiroth as the bad guy at the end?
Well, so the Ultima guy that you find, that dude totally looks like Sephiroth.
Yeah.
He's got like the wings. He's got the.
I mean, even Star Wars did it now. The newest
half of him.
Star Wars Venom bad guy villain has white hair. He's missing an arm, which is kind of like the one-winged angel. He's super powerful. There's just once they got it with Sephiroth, they were like, "We nailed it. We'll just keep doing it harder."
Yeah, that's all they are.
Yeah, just gayer and gayer versions of.
Well, the one that the one that I've found so far in that is kind of like a weird like half corpse, half alien.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool.
His bottom half of his body's hanging off.
How about this one? The only people who don't get along with me are people who it's hard to get along with.
I'm surrounded by assholes.
Yeah. It's funny how Donald Trump was like hip hop shorthand for rich, successful businessman until 2015. Huh.
I used to say something like that. That my only pet peeve is people with lots of pet peeves.
Yeah.
It's like that old meme of the Burger King bathroom where it says all employees must wash hands, and somebody wrote, "Sometimes you got to break the rules" underneath.
Yeah. The one. Sit down.
Sometimes you got to not wash your hands. So we had Jeff Keighley like one of our videos, which was rad.
Dorito Pope? I don't even understand what's going on with that at all. I don't even know if that's really him.
It's the Game Awards on TikTok, and it's a blue check, and the videos are of his face filming himself.
Okay.
And then, but the other weird thing about it is like a lot of this weird, creepy internet stuff I've been getting into, stimulating the algorithm and the aggregate from underneath with my fingers.
Yeah.
Giving the internet a little "How's your father?"
Yeah.
Is that
a little reach around? Giving the internet a reach around.
Is this interactive? You have to poke his brain. That's awesome. So Jeff Keighley liked my thing, or somebody representing the Game Awards, and then I realized our most watched YouTube short is when we were talking about Kanye West needs a Santa tracker app because he was missing.
Uh-huh.
But the footage in the background that I used was Death Stranding, and it was of Jeff Keighley.
Okay.
So he liked our TikTok thing, but then his face is in our most watched YouTube thing.
Uh-huh.
I think I went
Maybe
down.
we hit the Game Awards
algorithm.
The Game Awards
Nexus
thread, trail.
But you can see how this stuff can drive people crazy and make you feel real tinfoil hatty.
Yeah.
Because I got the YouTube ban right after the Biden thing for making fun of the Trump lady, and then I got Jeff Keighley like my thing, but he's also on the other video, and this is what happens when I'm bored and I can't post to YouTube. I just started thinking, why? How do I get out of it? I'm going to put on my tinfoil hat and make up conspiracy theories for why I got in trouble. We were talking last night in a personal conversation off air about how Final Fantasy has always reflected the Japanese perception of Western culture.
What's cool in pop culture?
Or Western, the world. So I guess that started with 7. It was all medieval before then. So what did they see when they were making 7 where they were like, it needs to be steampunk? Was it Blink-182? Or was it Green Day?
No,
was it post-punk?
That was like mid 90s.
It was post-punk or pop-punk.
Yeah.
Was big
well,
then.
yeah, because it was kind of the same thing from like...
It's always a few years later because it takes them a while to develop.
Because it wasn't necessarily steampunky. It was more cyberpunky.
Yeah.
So it was like Hackers was 1999.
Yes.
And that was kind of the aesthetic that was coming... 1995, I mean.
Okay.
So, and that's probably about the time they were developing because
The Zeitgeist.
6 came out in 94, so that's probably has to do with it. And then 8 was like more...
Harry Potter. It was a school of magic.
Magic school. But no, that was kind of the Harry Potter times. Yeah,
But it was
99.
also kind of Dawson's Creek-ish.
Yeah, it was teenage, very teen.
Yeah. And then every once in a while they go back to basics like they just did with 16. They go back to medieval.
Yeah. But 16 they were like Game of Thrones, right? We got to
Yeah.
do a Game of Thrones style Final Fantasy.
But 10 was like Salt Life, beach vibes.
yeah.
It was during like 311 and all that Len, Steal My Sunshine type shit. It was a big San Diego
They were
vibes.
watching a lot of Sublime.
Yeah.
listening to a lot of
They're like, we
Sublime.
need to make a beach trash hobo style Final Fantasy game of lots of straps and
Yeah.
thatched roofs. And then 11 was online. 12 was back to basics. 13, I don't know. That's what I was trying to figure out with you last night. What the fuck was going on in the rest of the world? And they looked at it and they were like, we need a pink-haired magic
I think it was more
female lead with the summons have to be vehicles now. They just they went wild.
I think it was more going back to like the next step in the Final Fantasy X after 12, because 12 was like the Evil East guy, so
Yeah.
that one was its own thing, and then 13 seems more like a direct evolution of the style of 10,
Yeah.
and then 14 is another giant MMO, and then 15 was boy band K-pop looking.
Yeah.
Whatever, emo-y kind of guys.
And
now it's just like, we're just going to do a Game of Thrones with a bunch of white people.
The only other time I ever was a bouncer besides Orlando was here in Austin at the Cedar Door during South by, and it was a Screamcore day. I think Russ, my cousin, wasn't booking the bands, and the owner of Cedar Door was just like, whoever's got money, I don't care. Like it'll fill up.
Yeah.
It's gonna be huge. So he didn't know anything about music or care, so he just booked whatever. So I ended up having to run the door for this Screamo shit. And it was a lot of underage boys with Final Fantasy hair trying to get beer, and me telling them no. And then
Skinny jeans, lots of skinny jeans, probably.
And then they'd yell at me, "Do you know who I am? I was just on stage." And I was like, everyone was just on stage. It's South by, who nobody gives a fuck. No, I don't know who you are. I don't want to know who you are. You look like everyone else in here. You're lost in the crowd. Are you going to get Persona 5 Tactica?
No.
That's the new Persona. I thought you were into Persona guy.
I played Persona 5. They're fun, but I'm not like crazy about, because there's like Persona 5 Strikers. So I guess Persona 5 is like a tactics game.
Mm-hmm.
There's like so much of that stuff. I'm like, dude, I don't have time for this. I barely have time. I think in this entire year, I will probably only be playing Zelda and Final Fantasy 16. Those are probably the only games I will play.
Yeah, I have more fun looking forward to this stuff and watching the hype shit than actually doing any of it. It's like, I like to have a light at the end of the tunnel. I have 10 favorite comics, 10 favorite bands, 10 favorite directors, 10 favorite video game studios. So I've always got something fun coming that I'm into.
I've got more Criterion Collection DVDs coming.
What'd you get?
Or 4Ks. So I already got the Dazed and Confused one. I ordered Wall-E, which is the only Pixar I think that's Criterion. So I ordered that, and then Princess Bride comes out September 6th or something.
Oh yeah.
So I pre-ordered that. There's a few of them. I'm like, you know what? I'll get the Criterion 4Ks at least. I don't buy a lot of movies, but I would definitely get those. And then of course I've got some other 4Ks, but yeah, I've got a few of those coming. So we'll have to set up a night to watch some of this.
The kids got so sick of me doing that guy, the bald guy from
Miracle
Princess
Max.
Bride. Yeah. No,
Vicini?
yeah.
Inconceivable?
Yeah, anytime they would fuck up around the house and there's like some simple rule, I'm like, you just fell for one of the classic blunders. The first and only slightly well-known left is to never get into land war in Asia.
Yeah.
But the second rule is never fuck with your mother when she's on her period. Read the room.
Yeah.
Dragon Quest 12 is coming?
But they like announced a logo for it 2.5 years ago, and that's it. That's all. They haven't given any updates on it.
I read that they're struggling because they're trying to make it adult also. They're trying to do a Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah.
Which is going to be weird because it's been so chibi the whole time.
Yeah, Dragon Quest is more like, it's more freaking Dragon Ball Z shit. That's what it should always look like. It should always look like Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, it's going to be strange having adult themes with those huge eyeballed faces.
Yeah, with those, what's that guy's name? Akira Toriyama faces.
We were playing Final Fantasy 16 in our house and the PlayStation overheated.
I've been having that happen. I've been having the PlayStation 5 just go to rest mode. Is that what it did?
Yeah.
It just goes into rest mode out of nowhere.
I didn't have the same warning as you. It said the PlayStation is getting too hot. It needs to rest.
Oh, I haven't gotten that one.
But I could put a fan on the back. I ordered a fan that plugs into one of the USBs and turns on when the PlayStation turns on. It's been fine since then. Plus, I took it apart and cleaned it.
Sounds like somebody's wife need to do some dusting.
Yeah, I know, right? Or have less cats. But now it looks cool because it's in there and it glows. The fan glows blue from behind. So we have our first cool backlit neon colored gadget in the house. It goes,
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, we found out that the competitive league over leaderboards for Final Fantasy 16 are online only in New Game Plus in hard mode. So I'm waiting for you and Jason to catch up so we can all be on the same leaderboard together.
Well, I'm sitting here. I mean, the days I can, I'm playing like 3 or 4 hours. But
I just tell Jason that's the next show we want him to come do.
Yeah.
Once he's ready to compete, then we can have a.
Well, we could do a remote show with him.
Yeah.
With that, if we all jump in on a thing and
can do
stream it,
leaderboards.
then we just record it, and then that's an episode right there.
Well, yeah, we turned it off and it took it apart and it works fine now. But it was also just this. Whenever you have 3 or more icons on screen, you can still do photo mode.
Yeah.
During those, it's insane. So you have Ifrit throwing a huge fireball with Phoenix there, and Garuda, and you can still pause everything and move the camera around and zoom in and out and everything, which is crazy. I can't believe that's even possible now. It's very fun, but
it's pretty crazy that whole game is pretty much in the engine. There's no FMV. There's no pre-CGI.
But the thing that we were saying before that we like about Final Fantasy and Metal Gear is that it clicks. The mechanics are tight.
Yeah.
Everything goes pating in a happy, nice little Japanese rice cooker way.
Yep.
Where you're confirmed that and that's why I couldn't get into like Fight Night and Gang Beasts, because it was like, am I hitting someone? It's all gummy.
Yeah.
What's even happening? Like you couldn't tell. I mean, Skate was fine. EA Skate was a little gummy like that, but we didn't have a choice. There's nothing better except for Tony Hawk.
Right.
But it was, I understood it because I did Skate, so I liked the feeling of it, not being sure if it's working or not. But I mean, I have boxed before too, and I don't like playing boxing because it's like life or death. Somebody got you and knocked you out, and you're like, I didn't even see. His hand was on the other side from the camera.
Mm-hmm.
The camera's weird. It's slower than normal. I think the only boxing games I've liked have been like cartoony ones where they have big explosions and bam, pow, wow, like Ready to Rumble. Did you ever play that one?
Yeah.
With the announcer guy?
Yeah.
I had to work with a contractor at work named the Fancy Brothers Construction. And I was like, fuck, Donnie and I missed out on a good name for the podcast.
The Fancy Brothers?
The Fancy Brothers.
The Disgusting Brothers. That's like, they got completely taken over, like Matt and Shane and all that. Like, everybody loved that name once it happened in succession. The Disgusting Brothers.
Are you ready to go dark? I have something dark to talk to you about.
Okay.
You know how people say, I wish upon you a fate worse than death?
Yeah.
But I always, that makes the imagination reels. What's a fate worse than death? Death is probably one of the best fates because it's over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything that's not death, that's bad, is worse than death because you have to experience it.
Yeah.
So, like,
I guess from like a more philosophical point of view, I guess, hey, look at that guy's arm.
That's how you feel about your morality and not being around anymore.
Yeah.
It's clipping. But you know how, like, if you ever think about jumping off a building or whatever, you're like, I'm not sure if I want to because I don't want to be retarded.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to jump wrong and land on my head wrong and just be retarded for the rest of my life.
Yeah, it'd just be like,
that's a fate worse than death. And then even worse than that is being retarded on the outside, but you're still,
yourself in the inside.
So you're
being retarded on the outside.
So you're trapped in a retard. So here's my ultimate fate worse than death. You get captured POW style in another country, Nazis, Germany, Japan, or something. They know how to hit you on the head so that you are retarded only on the outside, and then you become a gay rape slave.
Yeah.
So you're retarded, but
that's
you know
fate
everything.
Worse than death. Yeah. That's a good one. I like it.
Retarded gay military rape slave in another country, but you know what's happening and you're fine inside.
You're
not fine.
Hotel.
You just keep getting worse PTSD on top of PTSD.
Yeah.
Then you can be like that guy from the Metallica video that sends a home of you nodding your head.
Yeah.
In Morse code. We were working downtown doing traffic control a long time ago with this event company on the east side when the east side was the east side. And this lady walked up to my coworker and offered him a $2 blowjob.
Uh-huh.
And he was bragging about it for the rest of the day. He's like, she offered me a $2 blowjob. And I was like, I don't think that says a lot of good about you. That someone would look at you and think, he'll pay $2 for a blowjob,
Yeah.
and I don't think I want a $2 blowjob. I would want I think the lowest I would go would maybe $50.
Yeah.
You want somebody to act like they're trying to do a good job.
Yeah.
For $2, she's just going to be like, "Are you done?" You know, it's not even a whole blowjob. I would imagine it's not appetizing. It's like a $2 steak.
Yeah.
I don't want a $2 steak.
We're not at a Vegas buffet. I don't want Vegas buffet prices.
It's not going to be good.
Yeah.
So I got on live with Madeshi Boy, my new favorite TikTok editor guy.
Yeah.
That don't play with me.
Yeah.
I was so pumped to see that he showed up in the top of the Instagram as he was on live.
Yeah, with the green.
So I joined the room, and there was 12 people in it.
Awesome.
And everybody was asking him to show how to do his kicking dance that explodes things.
Yeah.
And he was like, "No." And people kept saying, "Say my life, my rules." And he was like, "No, my life, okay." He was in a very small room. I think there was room for him to do his kicky dance.
Yeah.
So I asked him what editing software he uses, and he said Premiere Pro.
Really?
Which is what we use.
Yeah.
So we can make our own exploding, kicking tiger helicopter.
My life, my rules, my attitude.
Care. You hurt me.
I don't care.
So that's the next phase of God Awful Gospel Hour.
Yeah, it's to
We're
do
gonna figure
cool
out
cool little animations of explosion, helicopters blowing things up, and
Yeah.
T-Rexes biting people.
Donnie and I are gonna parkour over a fence and
Yeah.
put a bunch of Star Wars shit blowing up. My podcast. I don't care what the robots think.
Fuck the Ginks.
But I got to talk to that guy, and he answered me, and I asked him his favorite food, and he said biryani.
Oh yeah.
And it validated my existence for 2 hours of being bored at the office. I was like, "This is great." I asked him to come to Austin to be on the podcast. He's like, "I'm in New Delhi. I cannot."
That's awesome.
The worst thing this girl did once. We were talking about manipulative relationship instances earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I was in a relationship with this girl. We were 15. I was 15. She was 14. We were having a hard time seeing each other. We couldn't. She lived far away. This is the girl that a friend of ours hooked up later. Her name was Allie. But we were just talking on the phone, and it was like we couldn't get time on the phone. It was the family phone, the kitchen phone. So it was hard to even get to talk to each other. So every day I was just so in love with her. I couldn't wait to talk to her. And I was talking to her, and she was like, "I think I want to break up." And I was horrified. I was like, "What? Why?" She was like, "Oh, I was just saying that to see what you'd say." And I was like, "I'm not a fucking gerbil. You're trying to you're saying shitty things to me to see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm not to be poked at." I immediately fell out of love and kind of broke up with her after that. I was like, you've just shown your true colors of who you really are. Do you have any more old premises that you've written down?
So, I guess I've got some riffs on something I want to turn into something longer. Clumsy and obvious social engineering and shallowness in pop culture.
Yeah.
Postmodernism and alternate dimensions trope in franchises. Normally don't do anything interesting, just a shallow excuse to put in identity politics and I clapped when I saw it moments and pretend it's deep and complex. Like, what if Captain America was a woman?
Yeah.
You know.
This is kind of what they're trying to do in Japan with Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Looking at the rest of the world going, what's going to make people do that?
Is the next Final Fantasy going to be like 2018 woke? Is it going to be about George Floyd?
Yeah.
George Floyd fantasy.
Orc Lives Matter.
And then so I put like some examples of the whole race swapping thing. Nerds, like Disney adult type nerds trying to force stuff like General Leia and post in-game Marvel references.
Yeah.
Like nobody cares about the name of the universe in Multiverse of Madness, you know.
Yeah.
Also the idea of being unable to separate the character from the person playing them. Like whenever we went and saw Black Panther 2, they acted like Black Panther and Chadwick Boseman are the same person.
Yeah.
They had to have Black Panther die basically the exact same way that Chadwick Boseman died. They couldn't have him die in battle with a supervillain or something. They had to say, "Oh no, he's got a sickness," and we couldn't cure it. And it was like that, just that inability to separate the real life from the fictional universe.
Yeah.
Because we have to be talking like it's so shallow. It's like we have to be talking about things as they're happening now.
I mean, that's kind of they're trying to stimulate the aggregate the same way.
Yeah, but
They're
it's
trying to get
it's
popular.
it's like shallowly self-referential, and then inability to consider context is a component of shallowness mixed with narcissism and solipsism. So I was like going through this whole kind of it was like a pop culture critique.
Sounds like a shrooming thing. Were you on shrooms when you wrote all those
No,
big
I
words?
was-
Those are some big long words.
I was just on Delta
Or Adderall. Sounds like I'm Adderall.
Yeah. So anyway, then I have this other one that it's somewhere in your genetic past, like you probably have a great grandmother that was just a total badass that birthed children on the frontier and fought off bears and savages. That's the kind of thing that I think of whenever I hear people talk about trauma.
Yeah.
Like, and use all that therapy speak. I'm like, what was your great great grandmother who birthed children with no doctor out on the range say about that?
Had to shoot a bear with a shotgun.
Yeah, had to shoot a bear that was trying to get into the outhouse.
Yeah, what's their trauma? How do they define trauma?
Yeah.
It's not maybe they suffered a fate worse than death.
Yeah. So that movie, another one I got here is that Indiana Jones was only number 1 at the box office for like 6 days of the first week it was out.
This new one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so on Tuesday, on July 4th, that Jim Caviezel movie, Sound of Freedom, beat it.
Oh no.
And so it's one of those kind of Christian faith-based movies.
Okay.
And it's about taking down child traffickers.
Okay.
So I'm hearing it's a really good movie, but there's that whole context of, groomers and child trafficking and stuff that they accuse Democrats of.
Yeah.
It's very there's like you could read into it to say this is actually because Jim Caviezel. There's a video of him at a QAnon conference.
Yeah.
And he's just saying the most like meaningless, vague stuff about like fighting and evil and stuff like that. But what he's talking about is, Democrats drinking baby's blood. But he doesn't ever actually say that. He just says a bunch of vague stuff. It feels like the same kind of thing.
The globalists. This is another one of those Burger King, sometimes you got to break the rules type of oxymoronical things because the Republicans don't want different lifestyles talking to kids about the different lifestyles. And they conflate that to a gay guy is trying to show my kid his penis.
Yeah.
Which has never happened once. That's not what's happening in the schools. It's not what's happening at the drag brunch library.
It happens.
I'm sure at some point a gay guy has tried to show a kid his dick, yeah.
It happens at Catholic Church.
Yeah, straight guys have done that. They're ripping it off. But they're still, in talking about it and conflating it, they're making it worse by talking about that.
Yeah.
Like,
because they're conflating all these things together.
It makes them seem
they're
like a sicko.
They're conflating telling kids there's nothing wrong with being gay with we're going to turn you gay because we're pedophiles.
Well, it's the old Patrice O'Neill bit about the white lady that sees a black guy and goes, "Oh, I hope he doesn't hold me and tell me I'm beautiful."
Yeah.
These fucked up Republican people are fantasizing about their own children. These gay guys better not come and try to take my son and make him gay and party and have fun.
Well,
at the gay club.
It's also really
get out
easy
from under my religious.
I mean, that's like the most basic of instincts, right? Is protection of your own children.
Yeah.
So it's something that's really easy to prey upon.
Yeah.
But it's also something that's really easy to to miss when it happens. So it's some of those kind of gray area things.
It's unimaginable. And the amount that people talk shit about them like they should be dead. I hate all pedophiles.
Yeah.
Well, there's a sexual offender registry, a map on your phone.
Yeah, you can go.
If
you
you
go
really
throw
wanna
those
go
people in the wood chipper if you want.
Die on this hill.
Yeah.
You look at the map. You're probably surrounded by them.
Yeah, go get Jared from Subway. Dude, I watched that documentary last week, the Jared from Subway documentary.
Yeah. They have Tom Segura?
No, they didn't interview Tom
he was
Segura about
involved in
being
all
his
that?
brother.
Isn't that awesome?
But
Did you watch Sledgehammer?
No, I didn't watch Sledgehammer yet.
Okay.
But the Jared one was okay. Like, I'm getting kind of tired of all these Netflix documentaries trying to like puff up what they have, like the story, and also trying to make it more dramatic and like and then it got even crazier.
Yeah.
There's a lot of There's a lot of stuff
Bold
in those.
fonts.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in those where they're trying to like hype up various people's stories and things like that.
You wouldn't believe 10 things that you didn't know.
Yeah.
Doctors are mad about this.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was okay. It was good to hear the story, but I would have rather heard the story and not the human interest part of it. But yeah, speaking of pedophiles and human trafficking and all that kind of stuff, like that stuff's out there, but the best place for those people to hide is where everyone trusts you. So
Yeah.
that tends to be, churches, or whenever you're the spokesman for a entire giant fast food corporation. It's really easy.
Well, there's
Or maybe
other
if you're-
countries.
Maybe if you're the biggest pop star in the world.
There are countries where the age of consent is disturbingly low.
Yeah.
Disturbingly low.
Yeah.
Those people could go there.
That's what he did. That's
Yeah.
what Jared from Subway did. He was like, he went to Thailand and did
Okay.
that whole thing. It's like, that's the whole reason why.
So then you break the law then.
I still think it's illegal in the United States for you to bang a kid, even if you go to another country.
Wait, that's jurisdiction, bro.
You're still an American citizen. You're bound by the laws of the United States of America.
So what if I went to Amsterdam and smoked weed?
You would still be breaking the law. Well, I mean, if you went to Amsterdam and did like heroin, it would be worse.
This is getting arbitrary.
Yeah.
So if we get kicked off of TikTok, we might have to go on Threads. Have you heard about Threads?
Yeah, but I think Threads is going to be even just as bad as far as like, oh, you can't say that. It's not funny.
Well, the problem is
Because they're all trying to leave Twitter because Elon Musk is just troll shitposter central. So they all hate him and they want to go to something else.
yeah, there's not a new one that's indie that's cool like Fark was. You know, when we heard about those and Dig when we were younger.
Yeah, Fark and Dig sucked. I was always on the other side of those.
But you heard about those from word of mouth. You know, it wasn't like because Facebook owns it and it's an app and that you have to put it on your phone.
Right.
So now it's hard to trust a new social network because it's always
Yeah, everything's part of a big corporation now.
it can only exist for so long before it gets.
The corporations moved in on the internet. There is no wild. Well, there's still the Wild West parts of the internet are out there, but they're
have to
the
do
stuff that all the nerds are on.
We're gonna have to do a dark web show.
Yeah,
Just put it on the dark web.
yeah. I mean, I'm still have IRC installed, and I have. Did you ever hear about SoulSeek? It was one of those like music sharing apps, and apparently it's been going on for 20 years now. So I went into it, and I found everything I looked for on FLAC quality, like lossless, better than MP3 quality.
I mean, you can clickbait yourself into financial freedom. We could just do sex stories and then stop them right before the good part. And be like, the next is on the Patreon.
Yeah.
Just tell every story of any time we've ever been laid.
And then she was naked.
She put her hand on my leg, and we'll see you guys in the Patreon.
Yeah. If we ever have a Patreon, it's going to be called Joining the Congregation.
That's how we get all the truckers.
What we really need to do is we need to find a way to have people give us 10% of their income. Mm-hmm. That is probably
tax-free.
Tax-free. That's probably the best. We should start a podcast church.
And all we got to do is run the AC for an hour a week.
Yeah.
That's the whole overhead.
Yeah, and like every movie we watch could be like we watched it for our job, for our career, because it's cultural commentary from from a religious perspective.
We're games journalists.
We just won't say what our religion is.
Well, we have to make something for people to be afraid of. We have to make up something bad that's going to happen to you if you don't believe in our thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've told you. I mean, the tagline of the podcast is the only podcast that's guaranteed to get you into heaven or your money back.
Yeah, guaranteed 100%.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if they don't let you into heaven, just ask for your money back. That's all you have to do.
What is it? Get thee behind me? Or no, I never knew you.
Yeah.
They have rules about what's going to be said to you. Come, my brother, my good and faithful servant.
Yeah.
That's what you want to hear. Thanks. I spent my whole earthly life
to go be a servant
being
for
burnt
the
by
entire
the sun.
rest of eternity. Yeah.
To get congratulated at the doors for being a good and faithful.
Yeah, it's either slave or torture. Those are your options when you die. Slave or torture.
Gay, retard, rape, torture in another country. Fate worse than death.
I think you just figured out what hell is.
Well, that might be what heaven is too.
Yeah. It's just that you're happy about it when it's heaven.
You were already retarded your whole life about it, so you believe.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
So we got a Christian coming on next week.
Yeah, I don't know if he is. He was talking to a Christian guy. He said he was being spiritual, but that was 2019. Things change.
Maybe COVID made him an atheist.
We'll see. Yeah, we should go to Arandina's Hacienda if you're not too sick of it, or somewhere around here.
Yeah, we on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd do that.
Lunch. Okay.
All right, and we're at an hour, so I'm gonna call this, and I will put this one up ASAP.
Was it awful enough?
I think it's pretty god awful.
All right, good.
So, all right, goodbye.